Become who you are. That's Nietzsche's idea of personal transformation. And he also says that you need to go through voluntary suffering, through situations of discomfort to achieve this state, to get into this flow. And that physical and mental challenges can help you to create new values. Not some general values for society, your own personal values. Just recently, I finished a 12-day fast, and today I will use this example to show you how you can use such experiences to create this voluntary discomfort and to use it to create your own success story. For me, such boundary experiences are my life philosophy. And it helps me to become more sovereign and more resilient against external disruption. In this video, I want to share my personal story through a Nietzschean lens, and I hope it inspires you to also create such life-changing experiences. Let me start by introducing a few core principles of Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy. When I'm doing such a things like a 12-day fast, many people are wondering, right? So how can you not eat for 12 days? How is this possible? Are you not getting hungry? And the key point here is that I don't see it as something that I don't like to do. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's my own decision to do it. And the decision is not only to somehow go through it and somehow suffer through the fast, but my decision is to love what I'm doing and to accept what I'm doing. And this is what Nietzsche would call amor fati, love the fate. And that means actually not only accepting, but even affirming all experiences. And by that, you use it to turn the pain from this experience into strength. It makes you stronger. And there's a key difference between voluntary and a victim suffering. And here Nietzsche distinguishes also between a master and a slave morality, right? Like the slave morality, today we could also maybe call it a victim mindset, means you're suffering, but you're blaming external conditions for that. And that makes you passive. That makes you reactive. The victim mindset is actually often a collective mindset. And this is what Nietzsche criticizes. Because by that you're not creating values, you're just complaining about the situation. On the other hand, if you go into a voluntary suffering and a voluntary discomfort, and it's your choice. Choosing hardship creates a master morality. And that means personal growth, but growth, not only just some kind of growth in the right direction. And this is your direction, the direction you give. And that's another difference to people, for example, that are maybe in a job and yes, you could say they're growing, but somehow they're still not happy. They feel still empty inside. And this is because they don't choose their own growth path, right? They do the growth path because it's just like it is in let's say in a corporate environment. You're just growing, you're moving up the corporate ladder, and somehow you're growing, but it's not really aligned with where you want to grow. And if you think now I'm too old for that, I can tell you you're not, because midlife is exactly the right time. If we look on our lives and let's say on our first stage in our career, this is the phase where we really build our persona, build our ego, and where we're growing and we depend a lot on external validation. And then later on, like us now in our 40s, 50s, some people earlier, some people a little bit later, we understand the concept. But we also understand that we don't depend so much on this external validation anymore. And on the other hand, there's a voice within us getting louder, which is our shadow or our true self, how Carl Jung would call it. And when this is happening, this is actually your chance to reinvention, to integrating your inner self, to integrate your shadow to a more complete self. But this integration is not happening just like that. You need to create, or you need to allow situations for that to happen. And this can be done by creating such situations of discomfort. Another concept that Nietzsche introduced is the concept, and it's going along with Become Who You Are, is the concept of self-overcoming. And in his famous work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he explains that. And he says, man is something that needs to be overcome. And he say the ultimate goal of man is to become he calls it the Übermensch in German, which is the overman, or it's a kind of a Superman figure. But don't think as the Übermensch as some person that you need to be and that you should be. And if you're not there, you're not valid or something like that. The Übermensch is something, it's more like an intellectual construct. It's like a lighthouse that should guide you. But Nietzsche also says, man, you can never become the Übermensch. No, man can only be a bridge to the Übermensch. So we're all on our way, we're all moving forward, and we're all doing that by constantly overcoming our old self, creating always new values and becoming actually always better. But again, there's no fixed goal that you need to reach and then you're the Übermensch. It's more like a constant, lifelong journey. And by self-overcoming or by overcoming yourself, Nietzsche means that you constantly need to look for new challenges. And that if you decide to stay in your comfort zone, if you decide not grow anymore, not to walk this way to the Übermensch anymore, that's what he called the herd mentality, right? That's what the sheep are doing. So if you want to become a better man, if you want to make the best out of your life, you always need to seek new challenges. And this can be mentally or physical challenges. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you do something. So if we have a look on my latest 12-day fast, I mean, there are also phases where I need to overcome myself, right? So especially in the first 2 to 3 days, if you saw the other video where I explained detailed the phases of my fast, then you understand that the first 2-3 days are the most difficult. After that, it's getting actually easier. But this is also a way of overcoming myself. I'm getting myself through the suffering, through the hunger phases, through the changes of my body, of my metabolism, and also through the mental changes, through the mental challenges like headache and fatigue and low energy and being nervous. But I took this conscious decision and I went through that. And after that, I was actually a new person, right? I went through that and by that, I was growing to a new person. And that's actually what is become who you are, right? It's actually a paradox because I am already what I am, right? So how can I become myself? And that's meant by self-overcoming. Every day we're becoming a new person, hopefully a better person. So your personal self, your identity is not something fixed. It's something constantly evolving. And that's the point Nietzsche wants to make. And this change continued, obviously, right? So every day was a new day. Every day I made the decision or I renewed the decision. I had to say, okay, I continue with the fast. I choose the hard path over the easy path. And I decide to do it in my way. And with that, you're building a stronger will and you're creating this higher clarity within your mind. And by that, you're also getting detached from external factors, right? You're not depending so much. There was nobody I could blame, right? I owned everything myself. And I can tell you, it was a great experience. And yeah, it was difficult, but I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And actually now I'm thinking already when I will do it next time. Because once you're into it, it's you cannot go back. You adapt it and it becomes your way of life and it becomes your way of becoming who you are. And this mindset of owning my own decisions, that helped me also in my career. So I started fasting 6 years ago and it built me mentally and it helped me also overcoming some limiting beliefs. So I quit my corporate job 2022 and if you saw the other videos, I quit my job, we sold everything, we moved to Mexico with the family, and we built a new life here. And that's the same pattern basically, right? It's also owning the decision. I could stay in a job that I don't really like, and we had a more or less comfortable life, right? But I didn't enjoy it anymore. And I think the fasting or also other experiences where I choose voluntary suffering helped me to build this resilience to go also through this very difficult career decision. Because for many years I believed, I cannot quit my job. I need the money, I need the paycheck at the end of the month, I need to pay the mortgage, I need to feed the children. So it helped me actually to make this decision and it helped me grow now finally into the direction I want to and that I choose. And that makes it very powerful. And if you think now, oh yeah, good, okay, but 12 days without eating, I cannot do that. Well, good, okay, you don't have to start with 12-day fasting. You don't even have to start with fasting. So start with something smaller and start with something that resonates with you. And if you don't know what, you can also experiment with different things, right? So it could be like a 24-hour fast. It could be a 72-hour fast. It could be building a habit of meditation or building a habit of cold exposures, right? Take a cold shower every day. And that's actually something very simple and where you get this effect very quickly, because if you take a cold shower, in the beginning, before you enter the shower, it's like, no, it will be horrible, the cold water. And you can feel it already, how bad it is, right? You don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. It's cold. You just don't want it. But once you get in the shower and you open the water, it will be like a shock for a few seconds. But after that, it will be such a relief. You will feel so much better and so energized. It's such a great feeling. So this is really something that can help you quickly. And if you understand the principle from that, then you can go also to bigger challenges. Before we finish, let me just introduce a last philosophical concept of Nietzsche, and that's the concept of eternal recurrence. And that's actually a mind experience, but a very powerful one. So Nietzsche is asking, would you live your life as it is right now, over and over again? If there would be eternal recurrence, would you live it exactly the same as you're doing it now? Or would you make any changes? And that's a powerful question, right? Because usually we always want to make some changes because nothing is perfect. But if you hear this question and you have very big concerns about your life and say, no, I can handle this job for another 5 years, but to repeat it endlessly over and over again, no. This can be a good indication for you if you should initiate some changes to your life. And this can help you also with your future life choices, because it fosters continuous reevaluation. And that's Nietzsche's philosophy of living authentically and sovereign. So I hope this was inspiring for you, and I hope you check out the other videos on fasting and boundary experiences. Subscribe to our channel, and see you next time. Have a great day.